Big Hit Entertainment used to be a small company with a bunch of scandals to their name, but BTS's success made them into a giant. Now known as HYBE, they're preparing to enlist BTS members into the military, and business insiders from South Korea are voicing their opinions, predicting that this will be the downfall of the company. The beginning of the downfall. Despite Big Hit's current success, things weren't always so smooth. The story of Big Hit began in 2005 when former JYP Entertainment composer Bang Si-hyuk started a company of his own. The company had some rough beginnings, full of commercial disappointments and lost opportunities. K-Will was under the company for some time, but signed with Starship Entertainment before he released some of his biggest hits. Big Hit's first girl group Glam had a pretty promising start, but then they had one of the biggest and darkest scandals in the history of K-pop, and their careers were over in a blink of an eye. Maybe Big Hit's biggest success in the early days was the co-management of 2AM, but even that was more associated with JYP rather than Big Hit. Their turning point came in 2013 when BTS made their debut. The group's immediate and worldwide success turned Big Hit into a big company. The success was, of course, welcome, but it also had its downsides. Now Big Hit's source of income and their reputation in the industry became tied to a single group. So as the time of BTS's enlistments came closer and closer every day, Big Hit is going to find themselves at a crossroad. They can either find a way to create an identity as a company and find other ounces of income beyond BTS, or they can crumble as they fail to gain traction outside of the group that built it into the company it is today. It will be really hard to keep going without BTS, since most, if not all of Big Hit's content for the last 9 years has been revolving around BTS. Plus, BTS is a picture-perfect group, but their enlistment is making it hard for the company. Even with all Big Hit's new groups and acquisitions of other companies, BTS is still the biggest moneymaker of the company. In 2021, Big Hit made $8.7 billion, and all this money came from album sales, advertisements, concert earnings, and other things featuring BTS. These numbers came from a time when the industry was largely suffering because of the pandemic, but not Big Hit. BTS's 2021 concert sales increased 980.5% from the previous year, and most of those earnings were from 2021's fourth quarter alone. According to business analyst Choi Jang-woo, the company has grown enough for them to not be reliant on BTS anymore. He said that yes, BTS remains essential to the company to the point that they accounted for 60% of HYBE's revenue in 2021, but that also means that 40% came from other sources. These numbers used to be a lot more different in the last few years. For example, in 2019, BTS accounted for 97% of HYBE's revenue. In 2020, it was 85%, and in 2021, that number dropped to 60%. This is because HYBE made the smart decision to expand into other businesses. However, HYBE might also see their demise because of their decisions, largely due to the 7 or nothing agenda that they have been pushing on BTS. But with the members enlisting one by one, BTS members might turn to releasing solo work or making subunits with the remaining members. While they will undoubtedly be successful even as soloists, it's still gonna be a huge drop since BTS probably generate enough money to power a small country. Now, what happened that people are saying that this is gonna be HYBE's downfall? Desperate decisions. Big Hit is not the only company in the industry who found themselves in a situation where they lost their main source of income. Companies like SM Entertainment and DSP Media face similar issues. Yes, even SM. Both had risen to fame due to one or two groups, and eventually there came a time where they had to operate without them. For SM, it was HOT and SES at times, and for DSP, it was Sex Keys and Finkel. So when all of these groups disbanded or went on hiatus, both SM and DSP had to do something to deal with the abrupt loss of their most popular artists and were forced to quickly reinvent themselves. Well, we all know how successful SM became when they debuted groups like SNSD, FX, EXO, and Red Velvet. They became one of K-pop's most recognizable and influential companies and made sure that they would never be dependent on just one group like they were in the past. DSP, on the other hand, didn't do as well after losing Sex Keys and Finkel. SS 501 and Kara did okay, but the company never went back to their previous success. The reason that I'm mentioning these examples is because they provide a clear picture of the two possible futures that could await HYBE. They could either remain a top company in the industry, or they can fade into obscurity as soon as BTS leaves. These two companies' history also provides a clear solution on what Big Hit can do to not go broke. And the answer is to debut new groups. After BTS debuted in 2013, Big Hit didn't debut any new artists. BTS was bringing in enough profit for the company to keep running without managing any other group besides them. But again, BTS can't stay young forever no matter what their song says, and they will have to enlist sometime soon. It seemed like Big Hit came to this realization, so they debuted TXT in 2019. Luckily for them, TXT has seen quick and impressive success, but they couldn't escape being compared to their seniors. In fact, they were marketed as BTS's little brothers ever since their debut, and the members opened up about how pressured they felt by it. This might also prove to be a problem for the other groups Big Hit might debut in the future, since they can't escape being compared to BTS. But nevertheless, Big Hit made some big moves as a company. They realized that if they don't have enough artists to remain on top, they will simply simply purchase other companies that do. So Big Hit rebranded as HYBE Corporation, acquiring Source Music, Pledis Entertainment, Chico's KOZ Entertainment, and even Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings. When they acquired these companies, Big Hit suddenly had a list of established artists that they didn't have to spend money to train or debut. What could be more ideal for them? They also announced the debut of new groups, which means that by the end of 2022, Big Hit will have a total of 11 groups consisting of 8 boy groups and 3 girl groups. But this feels like they're overcompensating for the long 6 years they went without debuting any new groups. It might just be, but going from only one group that was a part of the 3rd generation to at least 5 groups confirmed in the 4th generation sounds a bit crazy. This just shows that they have a lot of money to burn and need to try to lower the reliance on BTS. What's next? But acquiring companies is not the only way Big Hit is intending to keep the company running after BTS, as they've decided to branch out into previously unexplored areas. In 2019, Big Hit launched Weverse, which is an all-purpose digital cafe, merchandise store, and social media platform. Besides providing an online space for fans to engage with each other, Weverse offers exclusive content from participating artists, which include all groups signed under Big Hit, Source Music, and Pledis. Non-HYBE artists like Blackpink, Sunmi, Treasure, Everglow, and even Western artists like Gracie Abrams and Youngblood have also joined the platform, which just means more profit for them. Weverse is a very smart move since it makes Big Hit less dependent on external platforms since they now have their own. They have also expanded to television. Big Hit made their own survival show with Island, which was wildly successful. Another television-related venture of Big Hit's is a drama based on BTS's Bangtan universe, a fictional world often referenced in the group's MVs and albums, which is something that hasn't been done before by any other companies. This just shows the ways HYBE can make money off of BTS without them actually being there. Do you really think HYBE would go years without releasing anything BTS related? If all the 7 members enlist at the same time, they'll most likely prepare some music, maybe a whole album to release during their enlistment period. If not, the other members will probably work on music as usual and probably release albums, OSTs, and solo work like it happens with every other group. And this is only music-wise, but they also have the drama, 2 webtoons so far, and the BT21 characters, which have collaborations of their own. In this way, Big Hit can continue profiting from BTS even during their enlistment period. With all of these creative endeavors, Big Hit also went public in October of 2020, which means that they sold their privately held shares on a public market through an offering. This marks a hugely significant business milestone. Previous K-pop companies that have gone public are small in number and include SM, JYP, YG, FNC, and Cube Entertainment. Just like Choi Jung-woo said, they have found ways not to be dependent on just one group and even how to profit from them when they're no longer promoting as a group. But even with the measures they took to avoid ending up like DSP, Big Hit's approach to success is an equally high-risk and high-reward attempt. Big Hit would undeniably establish itself as a company that is capable of success beyond BTS. Additionally, due to the uniqueness of many of its ventures, Big Hit would open doors not only for themselves, but also for other companies in the K-pop industry. However, if many of their endeavors into artistic and business expansion do not have happy endings, this could result in a situation where Big Hit is going to be experiencing humiliating failures, leaving its future painfully uncertain. This means that the next few years should conclusively determine whether Big Hit's lasting role in the K-pop industry will be as a power player or a warning tale of what can happen if you're not prepared. Share your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye!